Welcome to another segment of Spotlight on Frazee. I'm your host, Hank Ludke, and I'm here today in beautiful downtown Frazee at the city offices with Chief Mike Johnson. Howdy, Chief.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Well, welcome aboard, even though you've been here for a number of years already.
Yes, I've been here for about almost 4 years or somewhere around there as a part-time officer, but this is where I grew up.
Yeah. And, I know you've been in law enforcement for quite a few years now. How many years do you have behind you now, Mike?
I'll be starting my 12th year. I started back in '99 and joined a couple of other different departments. Worked here, started part-time in 2007 here, and just recently I'm leaving as a deputy sheriff for Wadena County Sheriff's Office.
Well, that's a pretty good experience. I know you spent part of the time up at White Earth.
Yep, I spent about 2.5 years with the White Earth Police Department from 2000 to 2002, and from there I went to Hubbard County Sheriff's Office as a deputy sheriff, and then from Hubbard County I went to Wadena County, and now back home.
Well, and being with Wadena County here this year has been quite an experience, as far as incident management systems go and everything else for emergencies.
Yeah, it was a very valuable learning experience for myself, my sheriff, and all the other deputies and emergency departments in the area. We worked through it, and there's still a lot of work to do over there, though.
Yeah, I know yesterday Jonathan and I were at one place for the Sustainable Development Council looking at proposals for a Tree Wadena program for reforestation down there.
Yeah, it's, the night that the tornado hit, I was working that night, and I actually came out early, and when I got down there, I didn't recognize where I was. You're used to looking at these big, enormous trees and street signs, and all of a sudden you drive into town and you don't have a clue where you're at because there's nothing left.
Well, and I wouldn't even know that where the fairground was if it wasn't for what's left of the grandstand.
Yep, that's exactly it. Even still today, it's tough to recognize where you're at because you're so used to landmarks.
Well, now, of course you're familiar with the operations here and everything from working here. And with your background experiences, what do you see coming forward here at Frazee in the department? I know it's pretty quick to ask you since you just started full-time Monday.
Yeah, this is my third day as a full-time chief here. We've got some ideas. Hopefully there's not going to be a lot of changes to the public that they're going to see, but just some in-house changes, just some reporting, things like that, filing, that kind of stuff. But hopefully nothing that's going to change with the public. We're still a Frazee Police Department. We're normal guys. I'm Mike, even though I'm the chief now.
Well, that's good to know. He used to be Little Mike.
Yep.
And one of the things, we had a discussion here. Our first day on the job, we talked about the snowmobile access to Frazee here and how we're going to try to clean that up and make it Frazee easy accessible for the snow trail system.
What we'd like to do is we'd like to invite the snowmobile traffic into town. Come use our businesses, use the gas station, use the restaurants, the municipal, and how our city ordinance is set up right now. And the proposed plan on how to bring the snowmobile trail into town will not affect the city ordinance. How we're proposing is to bring them in on County 10 and leaving out on County 10. And there's nothing against our city ordinance against that. And we welcome the traffic into town.
Well, I appreciate it, Mike. I'm really glad that, once again, I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
And we're happy to have you here full time now. Now it makes it easier to find you instead of having to come down here at night and find out what you're up to.
Yep. Or trying to stop me around town somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we'll be right back for another segment of Spotlight on Frazee. Welcome back to Spotlight on Frazee. I'm your host, Hank Ludke, and you just saw the interview with our new police chief. We talked a little bit about the snow trail access to town. And I'd like to talk about what's happening with the other trails. Of course, as you know, last year we dedicated the Otter Tail Water Trail. We had the CC crew here last year, Conservation Corps for Minnesota, and we had them again here this year again working on the accesses, cleaning up the river. This year, we've seen the highest levels on the Otter Tail in my lifetime. And as we go into winter, I want you all to think and pray about the people out in the valley, because if we have a bad winter this year, where there's going to be a lot of flooding next spring in the Red River Basin. You know, and so if there's any way in your little bit here and there out in TV3 land that you can hold a little water here or there in the spring, or get rid of it now before it freezes up, do what you can, because we're going to need all the help in the spring that we can find. And also on the trail systems, the Heartland Trail Group has been through Suzanne Reese for the DNR doing the master plan. They've recently completed their last hearing in Fargo with MetroCog, which is part of Clay County's recreation system, and we will be moving ahead with the Heartland Trail extension from Park Rapids to Moorhead, and it looks like the first link that will be coming along will be the link between Frazee and Detroit Lakes. Now, I want you to understand that the Heartland extension is a multi-use trail. It is not just a non-motorized trail. It is also the snowmobiles. And so in certain areas, these trails run together. Some areas, they may not. But just to let you know what's coming down the pike there. Also, we continue to work on the North Country Trail coming from Lake Champlain in New York, coming down through eastern Becker County here and heading for Frazee. And we continue to look for landowner outreach support for future trail locations going towards Maplewood State Park in Otter Tail County and on out to the Cheyenne Grasslands in southeastern North Dakota. So any of you out there that are interested in participating, please get a hold of me at 218-334-2124 or look up the North Country Trail Association on the web. And look for the Laurentian Lakes chapter, and you will get a hold of some of our people. And we're more than happy to talk to you about what we're up to. This is a 4-foot wide, 8-foot tall grass treadway across the country for 4,600 miles. So it's an interesting thing that it's the only national trail coming through Minnesota. And as we look at, here we are about 2/3 of the way through fall, just finished up deer hunting season, or as some people call it, Holy Week. Hope you're all safe. Hope you all made it through. We've got Thanksgiving coming up at the Event Center in Frazee this year from 11 to 2. The Methodist Church will be providing a Thanksgiving meal. So if you want to come and share in some fellowship and have a great meal, come on over to the Event Center on Thanksgiving. Also, with winter coming on, if any of you seniors out there have any issues, please get a hold of the Neighbor to Neighbor block program, 334-3559. If you need any minor assistance, like with windows or certain things that you can't quite do yourself, we will help you find somebody that can do this for you or help you with it. And remember, it's getting to that point of the year. Read a book, improve your mind. Go to the Link Library, see Bonnie. And also, I'd like to thank all of you out there in Frazee especially for continuing to show your support for me as mayor. I'll be here for another 4 years. We'll catch you next week on Spotlight on Frazee. Pet the dog, hug the kids, kiss the wife, and wave at the neighbors, and have a great week.